Hey everybody!
Hey guys!
Welcome back to another adventure. Today we are going to the Congressional Cemetery. I'll give you a quick little rundown of the history of it. We don't have a whole lot of time to spend here, but we're going to look for, with the assistance of our friend ChatGPT,
yeah.
We're going to look for the graves of some interesting or important people. So
we've been told by some locals we have to come here, so we wanted to put it on our list. We love cemeteries, so we're super excited.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, here's the main entrance. This is the Congressional Cemetery. It's quite large. We are definitely not going to be able to do all of it today. We should have brought Abra, but we are coming here from somewhere else, so we couldn't have taken her there. It is free to enter this place, but if you want to pay, you can bring your dog. And what's interesting is a local has told me you then don't have to keep your dog leashed once you're in this cemetery. So for $15, if you have the proper paperwork, you can bring your pup.
Congressional Cemetery in southeast Washington, D.C. is one of the city's oldest historic burial grounds, established in 1807 on the banks of the Anacostia River. Though privately owned by Christ Church, it earned national prominence when it became the first truly national cemetery decades before Arlington. In the 19th century, it served as the final resting place or honorary memorial site for scores of U.S. congressmen who died in office, many marked by the signature cenotaphs designed by Capitol architect Benjamin Latrobe. Over time, the cemetery has become the final resting place for over 65,000 individuals, including not just politicians, but Civil War soldiers, suffragists, Native American leaders, and even J. Edgar Hoover. After a long period of decline, it is now a restored and active cemetery open to the public and remains a unique blend of American history, memory, and civic life.
Okay, so directly inside we have a little box that has free brochures for some of the more famous graves. We're going to see if this lines up with what Chat has given us, but super cool. They actually come outside and greeted us, asked us if it was our first time. We said yes. I'm not sure what this bell is. Let's see. Your donations have helped this cemetery go from this, and there's your original view of the cemetery, to what it is today. I'm just going to pan around here, show this beautiful flag. It's such a pretty day. It is a hot day, but it's a gorgeous day. Old trees. Super excited. Julie and I really enjoy cemeteries. Very thoughtful and contemplative places. I often run in cemeteries. I don't know, there was something about both of us when we first met. We talked about this, and we have been visiting cemeteries ever since. Let's go see what Julie has found over here in the corner.
The first one that catches my eye is this piano, this grand piano turned on its side. Music is the answer. Joyce Palmer, 1947.
I'm not sure if Julie filmed this sign, but she was in fact correct. You can let your dogs run loose. Can you believe that? Can you imagine bringing Abra here?
That would be really fun if it wasn't so hot.
I know, that's true. It is a hot one today.
For anybody who wants to know, she's at home in the air conditioning with a big bowl of water.
Yeah, living her best life, I'm sure.
Say it's got to be at least 90 degrees, right?
Probably so today. Today's high was going to be 94 or 96.
Oh, it's every bit of that.
Yeah, I believe that too.
11:52, so we are in the peak suntan hours.
I know.
As carnivores, we don't tend to sunburn, but we're still extra careful.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I have a hat on. We have sunscreen on. Don't worry about us. Let's go explore this cemetery.
Let's do it. I've got my brochure. We're ready.
All right. As soon as we entered the gatehouse, the first one on the list is Commodore Thomas Tingey, T-I-N-G-E-Y, 1750 to 1829. We do not have a photo of him, a drawing or painting or anything, but he served in the British Navy before commanding merchant vessels in the West Indies. He immigrated to the North American colonies around the outbreak of the American Revolution. In 1798, he officially joined the U.S. Navy, taking command of the 24-gun Ganges. It's a boat, I believe. In 1800, he was appointed to lay out and command the new Washington Navy Post Yard, a post he held until his death in 1829. When the British invaded the capital in August of 1814, Tingey was the last officer to leave the city, setting the Navy Yard afire on his way out and he was the first officer to return to the smoldering ruins. A public service-minded gentleman, Tingy served on the first public school board, the vestry of Christ Church, and the board of the Washington Parish Burial Ground, which is now where we are today, the Congressional Cemetery. So his tombstone is currently being scaffolded and propped up. I don't know who's buried in these. We're gonna go find out. I think these are some really cool looking mausoleums, especially the way the grass grows over the top. Michael's looking for our next person on the tour. But I didn't want to pass these and not show you. How magnificent is this?
Look at that mausoleum.
I know. It's so cool. Blagden. I see several of these types of mausoleums here. They are just fantastic. Can you see anything?
Yeah. You can see out the other side, there's tombstones in here.
Tombstones?
Uh-huh. You have to squint a little bit. See the other side?
I just see the ventilation. I don't see any tombstones. If you guys see tombstones, let me know. That is a cool mausoleum. This cemetery is so gorgeous. Exploring cemeteries is one of my favorite things to do. All right, we found another one that caught our attention. This is Montjoy Bailey. They've spelled it Mountjoy Bailey on the sign. Born in 1755 in Virginia, Mountjoy Bailey moved to Western Maryland in his youth. He was serving as an officer in the Maryland militia when the Revolutionary War began in 1775. He fought in several battles in 1776, including Harlem Heights and Fort Washington. Following the expiration of his enlistment in December, he was recommissioned into the 7th Maryland Regiment of the Continental Army. He participated in the Battle of Brandywine on September 11, 1777, which was an unsuccessful effort to defend Philadelphia from British capture. Following this defeat, the Continental Army retreated to Valley Forge, where Bailey and his regiment endured a harsh winter while training for the spring campaign. Whew. It's hot. Let me catch my breath. If you want to finish reading about Bailey, pause the screen right here and you go ahead. I'm going to speed read it real quick. Here's another one of those above ground mausoleums. So cool. That one's got lovely flowers growing in it and like a cement half circle over the back.
Look at this brass doorknob.
Yeah. William G.W. White, 1835. I don't know if you can see anything, guys. Ooh. Ooh. How about in here? That's gorgeous. I really like these. I'm at the lynch plot, but I have to go show you these lovely, lovely flowers, and we're gonna look for some pollinators. Aren't these gorgeous? And they smell really good too. Oh, look at this big beetle. Or June bug. I think that's a June bug. I got my sunglasses on. It's a little bit hard to see them, but gorgeous.
Okay guys, I took out the audio to do a voiceover because I was completely confused at what I was looking at in this next clip. I got completely disoriented when I saw a monument dedicated to John Quincy Adams, who I knew was buried out of state, and then I spouted some misinformation, so let me correct my errors and set the record straight here. These rows of unusual cube-like stone markers are cenotaphs, and they hold a unique place in American history. They were designed by the architect who designed the U.S. Capitol building, Benjamin Henry Latrobe. Each one marks either the burial site or the memory of a U.S. congressman or senator who died in office during the 19th century. Some of these do contain remains, others are purely symbolic, honoring lawmakers whose bodies were returned back home. Over 160 cenotaphs were placed here before the tradition ended after the Civil War. The cenotaph here bearing the name John Quincy Adams does memorialize the president, but he is not buried here. Adams died in 1848 after collapsing on the floor of the House of Representatives after his presidency was completed, and his body was returned to Massachusetts for burial. Adams is resting in peace in Quincy, Massachusetts, and his cenotaph here in Congressional Cemetery is purely honorary.
I think this is actually really pretty. How uniform they are, the marble faceplates, William S. Hastings. Gorgeous. This is a lovely obelisk here. The name is Gibson. And over here, Carter's. They have this awesome structure and it's just bouncing off the sunlight. It's beautiful. This obelisk is for William P. Duval, born in Virginia, 1784, captain of the Kentucky something Boomers, 1812, representative from Kentucky, 1812 to 15, governor of Florida, 1822 to 23, and died in Washington, 1825. I saw the monument here. Marker placed by the state societies of Kentucky, Florida, and Texas.
Well, that's cool.
This is so fun. The cemetery offers a little tour guide of people you might think are interesting.
Yeah.
There are very few crossovers to our Chat GPT list, and we are getting so distracted by cool looking monuments, markers, mausoleums, flowers. I think we're just gonna keep kind of walking around. Unfortunately, we cannot do all the cool people who are here. This may have to go on my to-do list for like a rainy or an overcast day, but
Come back, yeah.
we're not going to be able to do them all. There's so many beautiful and old, and there's flags and little markers from the DAR and other organizations. So I know these are all super important people, but we're going to have to pick and choose, and we can't do them all. So we're looking for Push Mahata.
Yes, Chief Push Mahata.
Chief Push Mahata. This is another beautiful mausoleum. This is called the Public Vault. It was built by Congress in 1835 for $5,000, and it was used as a temporary receiving vault for bodies to be interred here or elsewhere at a later date. It's of no charge to members of Congress, but it is $5 a month for private citizens. The temporary resting place of over 6,000 individuals at this point. Temporary home to presidents John Quincy Adams, William Henry Harrison, Zachary Taylor, and Vice President John C. Calhoun. First Lady Dolly Madison spent 2 years in the vault after her death in 1849 before being transferred to the Costin Vault across the path for another 7 years until she was finally interred at Montpelier in 1858. The vault fell out of popular use in the 1930s and it was restored in 2005. Now it is a popular special event place, a VIP room, and a popular stop on the tour. I like this. This is beautiful. So peaceful. Right here in the shade under this nice tree. Some pretty flowers. I think they might be a smidge past their prime here. Look at these. Gorgeous. That is the Public Vault. More beautiful flowers. You see the butterfly? Around George Phillips. Beautiful. Daisies. These pretty yellow flowers. There's a whole bunch of butterflies in here.
I think I just found it. Push Mahata. Mataha. Wow, Push Mataha, a Choctaw chief, lies here. It says he was a brigadier general, 1764-1824, Choctaw chief, warrior, hunter, and great friend of many, including President Andrew Jackson. It says in 1812, Pushmahata led 1,000 warriors of the Choctaw Nation to fight alongside Jackson at the Battle of New Orleans, one of the greatest battles in United States history. President Monroe asked Pushmahata to represent the Choctaw Nation in the Treaty of Negotiations in 1824 in Washington, D.C. He died of the croup at age 60. Wow. I'm so happy I found this. It is not the greatest map, unfortunately, and it looks like those cenotaphs that Julie had filmed, but it's taller. There you go. Among his last words, "When I am gone, let the big guns be fired over me." A warrior of great distinction, he was wise in counsel, eloquent in an extraordinary degree, and on all occasions and under all circumstances, the white man's friend.
Next, this is the tomb of Dr. William Thornton, the first architect of the U.S. Capitol building. He was born in the wealthy West Indies Quaker family. At a young age, Thornton was sent to the United Kingdom for his education. While he studied medicine in Scotland, it being the height of Scottish Enlightenment, he spent much of his time immersed in art, philosophy, economics, and architecture. Upon completing his studies, including traveling the continent, Thornton immigrated to Philadelphia, where he quickly earned a reputation not for his medical skills, but as an architect, when he won a design contest for the Library Company of Philadelphia and then for the U.S. Capitol. This right here is his wife, Anna Maria Bordeaux. They moved to the new federal city soon after submitting the winning plan, living there for the remainder of their lives. George Washington appointed Thornton to be one of the 3 commissioners overseeing the creation of the new city. President Jefferson later appointed Thornton to be the first superintendent of patents, where he managed to convince the invading British troops not to burn down the patent office during the War of 1812. Little pupper dog out here having a good time. I just missed him rolling around in the grass. Look at him. I think it's wonderful you can let your animals run.
Yeah,
loose.
I do too.
We may have to try to bring Abra here. That would be a fun adventure. Michael's looking for J. Edgar Hoover, but I got distracted by this. This is in loving memory of our mother, Lucy Bell. And I wanted to read to you what her little sign says. For close to 100 years, Lucy Bell struggled to keep her family safe, free, and united. Born a slave on a Prince George's County plantation before the Revolutionary War, Bell learned at a young age the stark reality of being someone else's property. In 1797, her master died, leaving her to his wife, but her 2-year-old daughter Anne, who was buried here with her mother, to his son. Lucy then gave birth to 3 more children. In 1810, the master's wife died and left Lucy to another son. 2 of her younger children were bequeathed to the first son. A younger daughter, however, ended up being bequeathed to a daughter who died and left her to her daughter and her son-in-law. Eventually, many of Lucy's children ended up the property of one nephew with a stipulation in the will that they could not be taken out of the state or sold. By the time of the 1820 census, Lucy was living in Washington as head of household and free. Some of her children living with her are shown as free, while others are shown as enslaved. Over the next 50 years, Lucy and her family used every means necessary to keep them together and free. That involved lawsuits, self-purchase, the goodwill of owners, raising money from abolitionists, and finally, when all else failed, escape using the Underground Railroad. Upon Lucy's death in 1862, her family recognized her leadership and sacrifice by laying her to rest here in the prominent burial ground of the capital city and providing her with this elegant, expensive headstone. And at least some of her children are buried here with her. I think we saw one, right? Somebody's left her a lovely rock. That just caught my eye. I saw it was the name of a woman and I knew it would have a good story. I appreciate this cemetery for making it easy to find all of these people are interesting stories. I don't mean to imply that any of these people aren't interesting, but we don't always know all of the stories, and this cemetery has done a fantastic job of making it easy to find the ones that have a little story to go along with them. So good job. I'm enjoying this cemetery very much.
Okay, this one was a little harder to find because it didn't have the big sign out front. This is J. Edgar Hoover's grave. There's the symbol and the seal of the FBI. We also have some bushes on either side. And it appears his whole family is here. It's also gated. And then I'm going to turn and show you. We also have a bench that's seated here with some pavement. Yeah, we didn't have the sign here. I was just telling the camera. So it was a little more difficult to find because it's really inconspicuous until I saw the FBI symbol.
Well, it's one of those that's hidden in plain sight. They've made it so obvious, it's actually something that you could miss.
Yeah.
Beautiful flowers alert. Let Michael tell you about that. Look at these flowers. This is Abraham Inn, beloved husband, and Mary C. Hazen. Oh man, these are gorgeous. Guys, it smells so good. I don't know if these are lilies. Tiger lilies, I think these are called. Something in here smells incredible. It smells so good. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at all the pollinators. So many.
Okay guys, right past Hoover's grave is an important one. You see this large marker here and this beautiful bench. This is gay rights activist Matlovich, and we are now in the section called Gay Corner. And the reason why that's important is because he deliberately asked to be buried here so that he could be down from the controversial figure that J. Edgar Hoover was. And so if you take, just kind of a pan here and you begin to look and you walk by grave sites, since he was the first LGBTQ plus person to be buried in the cemetery, we now have a lot of gay individuals that have chosen to be buried by him, next to him. So this was one of the highlights for us that we wanted to see in the cemetery today for that very reason. I think that is extremely, extremely cool and very, very thoughtful. So we wanted to come by and just spend a couple of minutes here.
I love all the rocks. That just shows how many people have visited and wanted to show that they were here. But in the middle, I don't know if Michael showed you this, the United States of America honors the memory of Leonard Matlovich. This certificate is awarded by a grateful nation in recognition of devoted and selfless consecration to the service of our country in the American Armed Forces. President of the United States.
Either. But if you look here, it says, when I was in the military, they gave me a medal for killing 2 men and a discharge for loving 1.
Oh man, this one is special.
Yeah. So if you, I took the camera and kind of panned around, but everyone that is, or that considers themselves part of the community is buried in this little section here to be close to him because he was such an activist for gay rights.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's so special that they're all together, even whether or not they knew each other in real life.
Exactly.
Well, this is a gorgeous magnolia tree. I don't think these people have passed away, but they have put a bench here. Richard Freitag and Larry Shaw, married in 2006. Not a day goes by. Maybe they are buried here.
I don't know, but I swear that's so different to have that as a marker, a bench.
Did you see this one? Tom Gator Swan, proud gay veteran. 1958. I guess he's still alive. He was a Freemason. He's got a gator tip in his hat. I'm not sure what that's the symbol for. If anybody knows, let me know down below. That's something I had never really thought about before. In the struggle for rights and equality, I never thought about the fact that there might have been a time when you couldn't even be buried with the person that you love for the rest of time. These are things that you just take for granted when you don't struggle and you don't even realize it's a struggle for other people. And thank goodness for things like this, so that it brings attention to it and we can undo those kinds of stereotypes. The cemetery just keeps going on and on. It keeps going as far as I can see that way. We cannot possibly do all of this today, but I am absolutely having a great time. I would love to be able to come back when it's maybe not quite so hot and do a little bit more of it.
No, that's the toughest part.
We want to knock one or two more out while we're here. This is an interesting tombstone. Beloved partners and husbands. Thomas Gerard Clarner and Neil Timothy Turtle. They have a very cool looking. I know. And then here we have Equality. Giddings and Lawson. Gay pioneers who spoke truth and power. Gay is good. Partners in life, married in our hearts. I love these, and I just realized why. It reminds me of when we were in Albania and we saw all the bunkers in the sides of the mountain.
Yeah.
And that was just a really special day, a special memory. I mean, the bunkers, I believe, were from World War II, so I'm sure they're not the most pleasant memories. But I had never seen anything like that before, and it was an amazing day in Albania.
It was.
A country I never in a million years thought I would see, and when I was there, I thought it was so gorgeous. All right, we're coming up on a really pretty chapel. I don't know who is buried here. This isn't on our list, but I saw a really cool looking, I'm not sure, this isn't really an obelisk, it's not really a cenotaph. I'm not sure what it's called, but that is gorgeous. It reminds me of a little bitty Notre Dame. The name on the marble part says Andrew Coyle, died October 30th, 1855. And Eliza Coyle, died 1861. This has been here, I guess, since around the time of the American Civil War. Amazing. Oh, the cemetery is just one of the most beautiful I've ever seen. I love it. I have a cemetery friend back home who may be watching this. If you're watching this, hi, I am missing you so much. My favorite buddy to hang out in cemeteries with. We've had some fun memories doing exactly this kind of stuff. Ooh, it feels good in the shade. We're already talking. We have got to come back here. It would be amazing to come back here. Maybe Michael could run. We could bring Abra, let her explore and play. She very rarely gets opportunities where she can go off leash because we're just super vigilant, careful parents, and the places that we've lived have just not really had a lot of opportunities outside of dog parks. We're not big fans of dog parks, so this would be a really fun adventure for her. We may have to time that with when she needs her next bath, because I'm sure she'll be filthy after rolling around in here. Here's that lovely chapel I was telling you about. It's gorgeous, and we just keep finding, I keep getting distracted. I said we were gonna go look at two more, and I just keep getting distracted by amazing things. There's a September 11th memorial. We've got to go find that. And a little child will lead them. This is in loving memory of Elizabeth Reeves, EYDT. Wow.
It's so pretty.
Beautiful. All right, Mr. Clark, Mr. Herbert Lincoln, the world's premier cornetist and bandmaster, 1867 to 1945. Cornetist.
I see something over there. It looks like Edgar Allan Poe might be buried there. You see that raven skull?
I think it's a real raven. I don't know. Okay, come on. Okay, I was wrong. This is not John Philip Sousa, and I'll tell you why I thought it was that. Please don't judge me. I saw this guy with the cane, and I saw what's in front of him, and I thought it was a man at a concert, like a music stand directing. But no, this is Anna Murray Douglas. And I know who these people are. This is Anna and Frederick Douglass, babe. Babe, this is Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. Oh, that raven is, it's a little creepy in this plot. I'm not gonna lie.
It's awesome. That skull's amazing.
All right, this is for Matthew Brady. He was one of the most famous photographers of the Civil War. If you know, the Civil War was the first war that was actually highly photographed. And that is largely due to Matthew Brady. And greatest.
Okay. Look, it is inspired by the raven because of how much Lincoln liked the poem.
Memorized the poem. Here's Edgar Allan Poe. And here's his actual raven. Okay. Francis Harper.
Yeah.
Poet, writer, abolitionist John Philip Sousa is buried here. There's General Grant. Army war leader and president. Wow. U.S. postage stamps inspired by Matthew Brady. Look. Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is a pretty amazing grave right here.
Manassas, Virginia, Harriet Tubman, assassin wanted poster for John Wilkes Booth, $100,000, the Capitol draped for mourning. Wow. Wow, okay. I got so excited when I figured out that I know who this is. This is Frederick Douglass, originally a slave, but he won, or I think he actually purchased his freedom, and his wife, Anna.
Look at the little frogs on top, babe.
Somebody left little frogs for them. And Abraham Lincoln. Remember at Lincoln's inaugural address, the second time?
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass showed up because he wanted to attend the ceremony, and they turned him away at the door because black people were not allowed at the ceremony. And Lincoln said to go back and get him and let him in. That's my friend Frederick. Wow, okay. This is a camera. This is what I thought was a music stand and a conductor, but I'm so much excited by what we have found. Here is Matthew Brady right here. He's got some AstroTurf. Matthew W. Brady. And
oh wow, look at all the little dinosaurs and frogs.
Renowned photographer of the Civil War. And look, he's got the caps on his hat.
If you pan the camera, it's him on the back side of this as well.
There he is.
Overlooking his grave.
Wow.
I mean,
this is so cool.
This is spectacular right
yeah,
here.
it is. This is absolutely incredible. All right, let's find out exactly where John Philip Sousa is.
He should, here was Brady. He should be just across.
He's not quite here, but he's here in
right on the
spirit.
other side,
We can hear him and his band from here for sure. I think he's over that way.
I think so. I think you're right.
All right, I'm sure you can see our friends Lincoln and Douglas and Matthew Brady and the Raven. They're all there. It is not hard to find Sousa. He is right here. John Philip Sousa. Okay, I grew up in a family where patriotic music was a big deal, and we listened to an awful lot of it, especially my grandpa. I just love John Philip Sousa's music so much. And this is where he's buried. I'm getting a bit overwhelmed. He has a little plaque here that says, John Philip Sousa, 1854 to 1932, known as the March King. Grew up in Washington on G Street Southeast between 6th and 7th. Sousa became leader of the Marine Band in 1880 and served in this position for 12 years, leading band tours around the United States as well as concerts at the White House, Capitol grounds, state dinners, and receptions. Sousa was praised by 5 presidents and wrote and contributed over 100 marches, 10 light operas, and other works. Musicians continue to play Sousa's music to this day, and bands from around the world come to play at his grave. This is
wow.
This is amazing. And here is his headstone. They've got this wonderful bench, I guess, if they have people here playing. I wish I'd brought something to play.
Never even thought about it.
No, this is incredible. John Philip Sousa, Lieutenant Commander, USNRF. November 6, 1854 to March 6, 1932. And here is, I can barely read that. I see a treble clef and it looks like 4 flats. I can't read the time signature. I think it's just 4/4 because it looks like a C with a slash. I cannot read what the notes are supposed to be though. I can't read what the notes are supposed to be. Oh my goodness, how cool. And his wife, I believe, yes. Let me turn around. The wife is behind him. Here is his beloved wife, Jane Van M. Sousa, beloved wife of John Philip Sousa, and John Philip Sousa Jr., 1881 to 1937. And over here, we have Helen Sousa Abert and Jane Priscilla Sousa. Wow, this is amazing. I'm so excited. This is incredible. I'm sorry I'm loud and enthusiastic, but this is John Philip Sousa, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend. He's the one who made America tap their toes, you know?
Yeah.
This is the pathway. It's called the September 11th Memorial Path. I don't know if there's an actual monument, but I did see one cool thing in a photo that I want to try to see, so. That's a low flying one, guys. Right there. I really don't mind when I'm in a cemetery hearing the occasional obnoxious noise like that, because it's kind of easy to get suckered into forgetting that there's a living, breathing, active, lively world out there when you're in a cemetery like this. Sometimes a intrusion from the outside. Look at this beautiful bench. Oh wow, gorgeous irises. That's stunning. Let's see. It's not in English. Omtare Tutare Ture Soha. I don't know if that's a name. I don't know. This is the nicest part of the cemetery right here in the shade. It's nice ground. Another one of these really awesome mausoleums. This one's for Jesse Williams. Let's see what's in here. Oh yeah, you can totally see that there's a few have people in them and a few do not.
So these are September 11 healing poles. Peace and war are arranged at either end of the top, and you have a male bear representing Father Sky and Grandfather Sun on your left, and a female bear representing Mother Earth and Grandmother Moon on the turtle shell.
This was carved by the Lumi Nation of Washington State in remembrance of those who lost their lives. If anybody wants to pause the screen and read this, feel free. But what caught my eye was over here. The carvers felt a spiritual calling to add a turtle to the pole, but they didn't know why they felt called to do that. During the journey, the poles made stops in nearly 40 American Indian nations where they were prayed over and blessed, and it was not until the end of a 4,500-mile journey and the poles were delivered into the care of the Piscataway tribe of Maryland that a deeper connection was revealed. The turtle is also the Piscataway clan symbol, and the Anacostia riverbank was their homeland where the healing poles now reside.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Let's go look at this.
Hang on. I'll read that. Native people know what grief is. We know what pain and suffering is, but we also know how to put our arms around one another. Yeah.
This is so gorgeous. Wow. Okay. I'm just gonna pan you around so you can see all of it. Wow. There's the turtle up there at the top.
No,
isn't that the turtle?
One on your right as well.
Where's the one on the right? I'm not seeing it.
Bottom, where the grandmother
Oh,
is.
there's the turtle.
Moon.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that might be a sun up top. I thought it was a turtle, but this is gorgeous. What's in the...
That is war in the top right, and peace is on the other side.
There's something in the mouth. It's a little face poking out.
Probably, I guess, to represent war with death.
Wow. This is beautiful. All right, last monument. I'm telling you, we can't keep doing this all day. This is the Arsenal Monument, and it memorializes the 21 women who were killed on June 17th, 1864 at the Washington Arsenal when fireworks left in the sun to dry ignited, causing the exposed gunpowder that the women were using to fill cartridges to explode. The cortege to the cemetery was led by President Abraham Lincoln, a band, 90 pallbearers, and 2,000 mourners. Local sculptor Lot Flannery created the 25-foot memorial, which is the tallest in this cemetery. Of the 21 fatalities, 17 of them are resting here. This is just a cenotaph to them. They're not necessarily buried here.
You can't, it's been worn away, babe. I'm wondering what that's supposed to be killed by an explosion.
At the U.S. Arsenal. They've tried to repair the E. Washington, D.C., 1884. Ellen Roche, Julia McEwen, Bridget Dunn, W.E. Tippett, Margaret Horan, Joanna Goners, Susan Harris, Lizzie Brailer, Margaret Janssen, Betty Brannigan, and Eliza Lacey.
It says erected by public contribution of the citizens of Washington, D.C., 1865, June 17th.
It's lovely.
Beautiful.
The tallest monument here in the cemetery.
Wow. And this is a mass grave site here.
I don't know if they're all buried here at this cenotaph.
Okay. I thought
It said of the 21 killed, 17 rest here, but I don't know if they rest here at the cenotaph or just somewhere in the...
Okay, yeah.
Beautiful. The little dog. Okay, guys, I wish we could stay here all day long. We do have to get home.
Could totally stay here, yeah. All
We have a
day.
little dog at home we got to take care of, but this has been an incredible experience.
It's the most interesting cemetery I believe I've ever been in so far. Yeah.
I go to a lot of them. I've seen a lot of really amazing and cool ones, but I think this might be tops on my list.
It's pretty spectacular, and would have loved to, seen every one of them. Just
we
not
are
enough time
definitely going to
today.
have to try. We're not in Washington, D.C. for long, but we are really going to have to try to come back here.
Yeah.
This is
This one was
a really
great.
special experience. And
It
I'm glad
was.
we got to share it with you.
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you another day in another video.
Have a great day.